Let me tell you something we all need to hear as we step into a new year filled with opportunities waiting to be seized. Words mean nothing without action. You can talk about your dreams, you can share your ideas, you can even promise the world, but none of it matters until you take the first step toward making it real. This is the moment to stop saying one day and start declaring day one. Every dream you've ever had is still possible, but it demands more than your words. It demands your commitment. Ask yourself, are you more attached to your comfort zone or the future you claim to want? Because 2025 will not wait for you to feel ready. It rewards those who move, who try, who take risks, even when the odds seem stacked against them. You see, many people get stuck in the cycle of talking. They tell everyone their plans, paint vivid pictures of success, but they never leave the starting line. Why? Because starting is scary. Starting is uncertain. But here's the truth. The courage to begin is what separates dreamers from doers. And let me tell you this, you don't need to know everything to begin. You don't have to wait until it's perfect. Action is messy. It's flawed. It doesn't always look good from the outside, but it's real. And real is what makes change happen. What holds most people back isn't the lack of ability, it's the fear of failure. Let me remind you, failure isn't the opposite of success, it's a necessary part of it. Every successful person you admire has failed more times than they can count. The difference? They didn't let it stop them. They learned from it, adjusted their sails, and kept going. So let's make a pact today. No more endless planning without execution. No more saying someday. Someday isn't on the calendar. Today is. Set a plan, yes, but don't stop there. Break it down into actions you can take right now, however small. Success doesn't come from giant leaps. It comes from small, consistent steps taken every single day. And when you start, celebrate every inch of progress. Recognize the power of showing up for yourself, even when no one else is watching. Because when you show up consistently, something incredible happens. You begin to trust yourself. You become your own proof that you can achieve what you set out to do. 2025 is waiting for you to claim it, but it's not going to come to you on its own. You have to stop waiting. Stop doubting, stop overthinking. This is your year to stop talking and start doing. Now, go. Not tomorrow, not later, right now. Take one step and then another. The life you've been dreaming of is closer than you think. It's on the other side of action. We live in a world where words are abundant. They're easy to say, easy to promise, and in many ways they've become our default. We talk about what we want to achieve, about our big dreams, our aspirations for success, and our vision for a better future. But here's the harsh truth. Words alone will never create the life you want. The promises we make to ourselves and others often remain just that, promises. Without action, they are simply empty sounds. Action, on the other hand, is undeniable. It's tangible. It leaves a trail that others can follow. And more importantly, it changes us in ways words never can. When you act, you show the world what you truly value. Every step forward is a testament to your commitment, your resolve, and your belief in what's possible. It's easy to talk about what you're going to do, to plan for the future and get excited about the possibilities. But until you take that first step, until you actually begin, it remains a dream, a wish, a someday. And someday is a dream that never wakes up. You can talk about how you'll run that marathon, write that book, or start that business. But if you don't show up and do the work every single day, it will stay right where you left it, in your mind. The power of action lies in its ability to bring your dreams into the real world. It doesn't matter how grand your vision is if you're not willing to roll up your sleeves and put in the effort. When you take action, you take control. You take ownership of your path, your future, and your success. Words are fleeting. They can be forgotten, misunderstood, or even disregarded, but actions, they speak clearly. They show others what you're made of, and more importantly, they show you what you're truly capable of. So when you think about the life you want to build, don't just talk about it. Do something about it. Every action, no matter how small, gets you closer to that goal. Every decision you make to act instead of talk is a step in the direction of your dreams. The most successful people in this world aren't the ones who speak the most. They're the ones who do the most. We all have dreams. Dreams are beautiful. They paint a picture of who we want to be, what we want to achieve, and the life we want to live. They ignite something deep inside us, a spark of hope, ambition, and possibility. But let's face it, dreams alone won't get you where you want to go. They are not a roadmap. They are the fuel. Without a clear direction and deliberate action, that spark will burn out, leaving you with nothing more than the desire for something better without a way to make it happen. Turning your dreams into reality requires more than just wishing for success. It requires you to break them down into actionable steps. A goal without a plan is simply a wish. A dream without a strategy is nothing more than a fleeting thought. You can talk about wanting to change your life, but until you figure out how to move from dreaming to doing, it's just a fantasy. Every goal you set, whether big or small, needs a framework. It needs a sequence of actions that you can start working on today, not tomorrow, not next week. The only way to bring your dream to life is to transform it into a plan of action, a plan that starts with one thing, clarity. What do you truly want? What are you willing to sacrifice to achieve it? Once you have that clarity, you can map out the path to get there. You can begin to see what it will take, what habits you need to develop, and what resources you need to gather. But here's the catch. It's not just about making a plan. It's about sticking to it. It's about consistency. Consistency is the bridge between dreams and reality. Most people fail because they start strong, get distracted, and eventually fall off course. Success doesn't come from one-time bursts of inspiration or motivation. It comes from doing the work day in and day out. It's about showing up for yourself, even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable, even when you don't feel like it. The world will test your commitment, but your consistency will prove that you are serious about your dream. To create the life you envision, you must take your dream and transform it into something that you can work toward every day. Start with small, manageable steps. Break down your long-term goals into bite-sized, achievable tasks. Whether it's learning something new, networking with the right people, or just showing up each day to put in the work, each action gets you closer to your vision. The key is to begin with the first step, and then keep taking the next one, and the one after that. Dreams are the starting point, but action is the engine that drives you forward. You have the power to turn those dreams into something real, but it will only happen when you start turning your vision into action, one step at a time. Fear is something we all feel. It's the feeling that creeps in when we're about to do something new, something uncertain, something that could challenge the status quo. And here's the truth. Fear is natural. It's a built-in response that every human being experiences when faced with something unknown or potentially risky. Fear is a part of life, and it's not something you can avoid. It's something you have to face head on. What often stops us isn't just fear itself, but the idea of fear. We fear the unknown, we fear failure, we fear what others might think of us. But here's the thing, fear only has the power we give it. It doesn't have to control us. Fear isn't an obstacle. It's simply a sign that you're stepping out of your comfort zone, and that's where growth happens. The only way to break through fear is to take that first step. Even if your knees are shaking and your heart is racing, too many of us wait for the fear to disappear before we act, thinking that we can only begin when we feel completely confident or ready. But that's a trap. Confidence doesn't come before action, it comes through action. You won't find courage by thinking about it. You find courage by doing what scares you. Every time you push through fear and take action anyway, you build confidence in yourself. You prove to yourself that fear does not have the final say in your life. Fear often disguises itself as doubt or self-criticism, telling you that you're not good enough, that you're not ready, or that you might fail. But consider this, if you don't start, you will never know what's on the other side. The world will never see your potential if you let fear keep you on the sidelines. The longer you avoid starting, the louder fear becomes, and the more it feeds on your hesitation. It keeps you in a cycle of what if and maybe later, trapping you in a place of stagnation. To move forward, you must acknowledge fear without letting it dictate your actions. Understand that fear doesn't go away, it just becomes something you learn to handle. Instead of trying to eliminate fear, learn to work with it. Recognize it, but don't let it paralyze you. Take a deep breath, accept that fear is a natural part of the process, and then take that first step anyway. Every great achievement, every breakthrough, every moment of success was born from the courage to begin, fear and all. If you wait for fear to disappear, you will wait forever. But if you embrace fear, face it head on, and keep moving despite it, you'll find that it doesn't hold as much power over you as you once thought. Starting is hard, yes, but what's harder is looking back one day and wondering, what if I had started sooner? So many of us get caught in the trap of perfection. We think that before we can start anything, whether it's a new project, a new habit, or a new chapter in our life, we need to have everything just right. The conditions need to be perfect. We need the perfect plan, the perfect timing, the perfect resources, and the perfect version of ourselves. We wait for the right moment for everything to fall into place, and in the process, we forget one crucial truth. Perfection is an illusion. The reality is that waiting for perfection is often just another way of procrastinating. It's a fear-based approach that keeps us stuck in the planning phase, never allowing us to take action. We feel like we need to have all the answers before we begin, that we need to be completely prepared, polished, and flawless. But here's the thing, nothing ever gets perfect. Nothing gets better or moves forward while you're sitting on the sidelines, paralyzed by the idea that it all has to be just so. Progress happens when we take imperfect action, when we take that messy first step without worrying about getting everything right. Because let's face it, the mess is where the magic happens. It's in those moments of trial and error, of making mistakes and learning along the way, that we discover what works and what doesn't. We refine our ideas, we adjust our course, and we evolve into the person who can handle whatever comes next. But that can only happen once we start. The idea of perfection sets us up for failure. Because it's an unattainable goal, no matter how hard we try, we'll always fall short. The truth is, there's no such thing as a perfect moment. There will always be something else to consider, something you wish was different, some obstacle standing in your way. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is that successful people don't let the search for perfection stop them from starting. They start messy. They understand that every step forward, no matter how imperfect, is a step toward growth. And that's where true progress happens. You don't need to wait until everything is perfect to move forward. You just need to start. If you wait for the perfect conditions, the perfect timing, or the perfect version of yourself, you'll never get anywhere. It's the act of moving, the act of doing that creates momentum, and momentum creates results. It's much easier to adjust your course once you've started than to sit back waiting for all the stars to align. Embrace the mess. Embrace the imperfection. Understand that each mistake is a lesson. Each misstep is an opportunity for growth. And each moment of imperfection brings you one step closer to the person you're meant to become. Perfection will never be your ticket to success. Progress is. And progress beats perfection every single time. Success isn't just about talent, luck, or inspiration. It's about discipline. Discipline is the force that propels us forward when motivation fades, when challenges arise, and when the initial excitement of a new goal begins to wane. It's the foundation on which everything else is built. Discipline is not a one-time choice, it's a daily practice, a muscle you strengthen every time you choose to show up, even when it's hard. In the pursuit of any meaningful goal, there will be days when you don't feel like putting in the work, when the distractions seem more appealing, and when your mind tells you it's okay to take a break. But it's in those moments, the moments when you want to quit, that discipline makes the difference. Discipline is what allows you to stay committed to your actions, even when the excitement fades. It's the act of pushing through those tough moments and continuing to do the work, no matter how you feel. Building discipline starts with building habits. Habits are the actions we repeat day after day that become second nature over time. When you commit to a habit, you're not just committing to a single action, you're committing to a way of being, a way of thinking, and a way of living. Whether it's waking up early, exercising, reading, or prioritizing your goals, the small habits you build each day compound over time to create extraordinary results. The key to success is turning discipline into a way of life. It's not about forcing yourself to work hard once in a while. It's about making consistent, intentional actions part of your daily routine. When you make something a habit, you no longer have to rely on motivation or willpower to get it done. It becomes automatic. The more you practice discipline, the easier it becomes to do the things you once found difficult. That is generativeness, pleasure. Over time, the actions that once required tremendous effort become effortless. You don't have to think about them. You just do them. The beauty of discipline is that it frees you from the chaos of indecision and procrastination. It eliminates the need for constant willpower because your actions are driven by something greater than momentary motivation. You've built a system of behaviors that align with your goals and values. This system works for you, not against you. It becomes part of who you are. You don't need to ask yourself every day if you're going to do the work. You simply do it. Success is the result of thousands of disciplined decisions. It's the early mornings you wake up to work on your dreams, the late nights you spend perfecting your craft, and the consistency with which you pursue your goals. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing it consistently. Every small, disciplined action you take builds the momentum needed to achieve your vision. When you commit to building the right habits, discipline becomes less of a challenge and more of a tool you use to create the life you want. The more you practice, the more you grow. And eventually, the actions that once felt hard will become second nature. Accountability is not just about being responsible for your actions. It's about owning the outcome, the results, and the consequences of those actions. It's about taking full responsibility for your choices, whether they lead to success or failure. Accountability means recognizing that you are in control of your life, your decisions, and your future. It's understanding that, no matter what happens, you are the one who determines the course of your journey. When you take ownership of your actions, you stop blaming external circumstances, other people, or bad luck for where you are. You understand that your life is the result of the choices you've made, every single one. You stop being a passive observer of your own story and become an active participant in shaping it. Instead of waiting for things to change or for someone to hand you an opportunity, you recognize that you are the creator of your reality. You take charge of your choices and become the person who can make things happen. Accountability requires honesty with yourself. It means looking at the results you've created and being willing to admit when things aren't going the way you want. It's about asking yourself tough questions. Why didn't I reach my goal? What could I have done differently? Did I put in the effort I said I would? Did I follow through on my promises to myself? Taking responsibility means owning up to your mistakes and failures, but it also means celebrating your successes and giving yourself credit for the hard work you've put in. It's about recognizing that everything you achieve is the result of your choices, and every setback is a learning experience that will propel you forward. Too often, we want to point fingers when things go wrong. We blame others, the system, our circumstances, or even fate. But in doing so, we give away our power. The moment you take full responsibility for your choices, you regain that power. You realize that you are not at the mercy of external factors. Instead, you have the ability to create the life you want by making conscious, intentional choices every single day. Ownership means acknowledging that you have the power to change. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about recognizing that you are the one who has to make the tough decisions, the uncomfortable choices, and the hard calls. It's about showing up for yourself, even when it's difficult, and knowing that the results are yours to claim, no matter the outcome. When you embrace accountability, you stop waiting for the perfect moment, the right opportunity, or someone else to give you permission. You realize that your success or failure is in your hands. No one else can create your future for you. You hold yourself accountable for taking the necessary steps, for making the right decisions, and for staying committed to your goals. And ownership of your actions means you have the freedom to shape your path, to adjust your course, and to move forward with purpose and clarity. Accountability and ownership are the pillars of personal growth. When you take responsibility for where you are today, you empower yourself to create the future you desire. The moment you stop making excuses and start taking ownership of your life is the moment everything begins to change. Your choices will shape your destiny, and the results will reflect the level of responsibility you take for them. In the pursuit of big dreams and long-term goals, it's easy to overlook the smaller victories that come along the way. We get so fixated on the end result, on that big, shiny success at the finish line, that we fail to recognize the power of the small steps we take to get there. But small wins are the fuel that keeps you moving forward. They are the building blocks of your success, the moments of progress that, when acknowledged, provide you with the motivation and momentum to keep pushing. Every journey, no matter how grand or ambitious, is made up of tiny moments of progress. It's easy to overlook these small wins: completing a task, hitting a milestone, making progress on a project, learning something new, or simply staying consistent for another day. But these small victories are crucial. They matter. They are the evidence that you are on the right path, even if the big goal still seems far away. Every time you celebrate a small win, you reinforce the belief that you are capable, that progress is being made, and that you are moving toward your ultimate goal. Celebrating small wins isn't just about giving yourself a pat on the back. It's about acknowledging the effort, commitment, and discipline that went into achieving each step. Every time you reach a small milestone, you reinforce your ability to succeed. You remind yourself that it's not just about the end result, but about the progress you make every single day. Because procrastination is almost like anything else, different from feminized stagnar. When you celebrate these moments, you shift your focus from what's still left to do to what you've already accomplished, which helps build confidence and motivation. These celebrations don't have to be grand or extravagant. They can be simple acknowledgments of your effort. Maybe it's taking a moment to reflect on how far you've come, treating yourself to something small that brings you joy, or sharing your success with someone who supports you. The act of celebrating these wins, no matter how small, creates a positive feedback loop. It tells your brain, look at what you've done, now keep going. When you fail to recognize small wins, it's easy to get discouraged. You might feel like you're not making progress or like your efforts are insignificant. But nothing could be further from the truth. Every step forward is progress, and each step deserves recognition. Celebrating small wins helps you stay connected to your purpose and gives you the energy to keep moving forward. The power of small wins lies in their ability to keep you motivated and on track. The more you celebrate, the more you reinforce a sense of accomplishment. This sense of accomplishment fuels your desire to keep working toward your bigger goals, even when the path seems long or difficult. Every small win is a reminder that you're capable of achieving great things and that the journey is just as important as the destination. When you honor these moments of progress, you shift your mindset. You stop focusing solely on what's not yet done and start recognizing what's already been achieved. This mindset shift keeps you engaged in the process, keeps you motivated, and reminds you that success isn't just about the final outcome, it's about the journey and the small victories that get you there. In conclusion, 2025 is your year to stop talking and start doing. It's about moving beyond words and turning your dreams, plans, and aspirations into actions that create real change. The secret to a powerful year lies in your ability to embrace the journey, acknowledge every step forward, and take full ownership of your progress. As you begin to celebrate the small wins, overcome the fear of starting, and commit to consistent action, you'll realize that your life is a reflection of the choices you make every single day. When you become your own proof, you not only inspire yourself, but also ignite the potential in those around you. It's time to shift your focus from what you wish to achieve to what you are willing to do to get there. Success is not a destination. It's a process, a series of actions, choices, and moments that add up over time. So let your actions speak for you. Build the habits that turn dreams into reality, and become the proof that the life you envision is not just possible, it's inevitable. Now, the only question is, what will you do next?